Hey, Daddy, tell me about Mean Girls. Alright, cool. So this documentary about women begins, right? And we meet Cady. She's a 16-year-old girl and it's her first day in America school because she grew up in Africa. Which part of Africa, Daddy? Just Africa, somewhere in Egypt or Cape Town. Daddy, if she grew up in Africa, doesn't that mean she should have an African accent? Excellent question, my child. So Cady nearly gets killed by a bus, speeding past the school. Wow, Daddy, America is a wild place. Indeed, she walks into her school and it's more terrifying than the school on Lean On Me. So Principal Duval walks in and introduces the new girl from Africa, and Miss Norbury says,
Welcome. I'm from Michigan.
Wow! So Cady has a tough first day. Her teachers keep yelling at her, the other 25-year-old teenagers are mean to her, and she accidentally mistakes a random black guy as her friend Jumbo from Africa. Just like her teacher. Yeah! So the next day she makes these mean new friends, Damian and Janice, and they skip health class, which is taught in the most religious way possible.
Don't have sex, because you will get pregnant and die.
And then we meet the Plastics. Who's that, Daddy? So the Plastics are a group of girls. There's Kara Smith, and she's one of the dumbest girls you'll ever meet. Then there's Gretchen, who's totally rich because her dad invented the toaster strudel and she knows everybody's business. And then, finally, evil in its human form, Regina George. What did she do, Daddy? She's a selfish, backstabbing, slut-faced hoe bag. She's also the Beyonce of the group. Oh. So Janice explains to Cady just how racially diverse their school is. We have the Asian nerds and the cool Asians and the Andrew Tate white boys and the unfriendly blacks and the white kids 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 and finally, the plastic. They're the mean girls. Yeah, so Gretchen's ex, Jason, starts harassing Cady, but Regina saves her and invites her to sit with the Plastics, and Cady tells him she's from Africa and the Plastics cannot believe it, so Karen asks what everybody's been thinking.
So you're from Africa. Why are you white?
So they invite her to sit with them for the rest of the week or whatever because they're so fetch. This news excites the mean Janice and the gender neutral Damian, the gigantic man in the girls' toilets. The girls must be so uncomfortable. Indefinitely. So in math class she falls for this guy. His name is Aaron. And that's when we find out about her crush back in Africa, Nifume, the most American sounding kid ever. What about Jumbo, Daddy? Cady's always had that jungle fever. So she gets introduced into the Plastics, but all the crazy rules make it feel more like she's joining a cult. So Rachel discovers she's eaten more calories than she should have and she leaves to get more food, but we all know she went to go biak. Later on,
You're the Africa girl, right?
Kevin asks her to join the mathletes because she's really good at math, but Cady would obviously rather be at the mall with the Plastics. So what do the Plastics do, Daddy? At the mall, Gretchen sees her ex, Jason, with another girl named Taylor, so instead of ruining Jason's life, Regina destroys Taylor's life by calling her mom, pretending that Taylor is pregnant. What? Then they go to Regina's humble home in her Lexus CS430, Top Gear's worst car in the history of the world, where we meet Regina's mom, Leslie Knope, and she's got it going on. So the girls keep this mean book called the Burn Book, where they're mean to other girls. For real? Yeah, boo. So Janice tries to force Cady to steal the Burn Book, but she refuses. Later on, Rachel calls Cady to tell her that Gretchen told her that she's got a crush on Aaron. She promised she wouldn't tell. Yes, then Regina tells Cady to say mean things about Gretchen, but Cady didn't know that Gretchen was also on the line. What? Then in class, Cady pretends to be dumb to get Aaron to like her because, like I said, this is a documentary. So Aaron invites Cady to a Halloween party. She's so excited.
Hey, Africa. You staying for the mathletes meeting?
But Regina rocks up and she tells Aaron that Cady is psycho and they kiss, and this makes Cady mad. Regina is so mean. She is. So Cady runs off to her double life friends and Janice tells Cady her master plan to destroy Regina once and for all because she's mean. Regina or Janice? Both of them. So what's the plan, Daddy? To destroy Regina's life by going after the three things she values the most: her man, her body, and her friends. So Regina tells Gretchen to tell Cady that Aaron just wanted Regina back. Daddy, I'm confused. Then Regina dangles Aaron in front of Cady because his hair looks sexy pushback. Regina's skin breaks out, so Cady gives Regina a foot cream for her face, but this drives Aaron crazy because he probably has a foot fetish. Then Janice cuts holes into Regina's top, but everybody copies her. Janice doesn't seem very nice. Then Regina tells Cady that she used to be besties with Janice, but she couldn't invite her to a pool party because there'd be girls in swimming costumes and Janice is, the lesbian on the crack. What? Then they have a school talent show and Gretchen tells Cady about Regina's nose job. But just before they go out on stage, Regina tells Gretchen to swap places with Cady, and this confuses Gretchen and she kicks the boombox, and that makes the CD skip and she kicks it into Jason's face. It was so embarrassing. Boombox, CD skip. Daddy, I don't understand what any of that means. But Cady saves the moment by singing out loud and everybody joins in. It was so beautiful.
Good job, Africa.
So Gretchen tells everyone that Cady has a crush on Kevin, but Regina's mean to her, so Gretchen has a complete meltdown in front of the whole class, and she tells Cady that Regina is making Bebe with Sean Owen. What? So they try to get Aaron to try and catch her, but they fail each and every single time. Daddy, are these girls real friends? So Cady gives Regina this nutrition bar that makes you gain weight because Regina wants to lose 3 pounds.
Oh my god, what are you talking about? You're so skinny.
In class, Cady tries to get Aaron's attention by pretending to be dumb. So she invites him over to her place to tutor him, and they accidentally kiss. But Aaron feels bad about this, so Cady tells him that Regina is cheating on him and he breaks up with her. Daddy, there are so many guy code violations in this movie. Astute observation, my child. So the nominations for Spring King and Queen are out, and Regina's trying to fit into a dress, but she's getting fat. Meanwhile, Miss Norbury isn't happy that Cady's dumbing herself down for a guy. So Cady writes Miss Norbury into the burn book, and the evil spirit of the burn book infects her soul. How, Daddy? Well, she's changed now. She blows off her other mean friends to talk to a chunky Regina who thinks no one will vote for Gretchen because she's not beautiful enough and that Karen is a slut. So Gretchen tries to tell Karen what Regina just said, but then Regina calls Karen so they can hang out. So then Karen tells Gretchen that Regina said not to tell her that they're hanging out, and Karen accidentally tells Gretchen that she's annoying her, but then Gretchen tells Karen that Regina told everyone she's a slut, and this makes Karen mad.
I can't go out. I'm sick.
Daddy, this was exasperating. So the next day, the plastics tell Regina she's not allowed to wear sweatpants, but Regina tells them those rules aren't real, which is what cult leaders say when they break the rules, and Gretchen makes it clear.
You can't sit with us!
So Janice's plan worked. Yebo. So now Cady's the Beyonce of the group because all friend groups are generally made of a bunch of weak people following one leader. So Cady lies to her parents about going to Janice's art show, so her parents leave her and she has a house party. But it gets out of control as more people arrive. Boy people, except for Regina. But what if Regina finds out? She does, and boy is she mad. She walks in on Cady and Aaron. Don't worry, Cady was just throwing up all over Aaron. He leaves in disgust, and Cady's other mean friends show up and tell her that she's gone full plastic now. Why do you say Janice is mean, Daddy?
God, see, at least me and Regina George know we're mean.
So Regina's boyfriend tells her that the nutrition bars she's eating are making her a fatty. Was she angry? Regina's real mad, and she adds Cady to the burn book and calls her a fugly slut, and she takes her to the principal's office where Cady, Gretchen, and Rachel get called in to explain it. Meanwhile, Regina throws printouts from the burn book all over the school. Daddy, this means war. Indeed, it made all the girls in the school get into a huge fight while the Joker stands by and revels in the chaos that she has created. Daddy, Regina is more evil than Thanos. So Principal Duval says he didn't leave the ghetto schools for this, and he makes all the girls sit in the gymnasium where he threatens to cancel the spring fling.
I'm not gonna do that because we've already paid the DJ.
So Principal Duval asks the girls if they have any lady problems.
Somebody wrote in that book that I'm lying about being a virgin because I use super jumbo tampons. I can't help it if I've got a heavy flow and a wide set vagina.
Yeah, I can't do this.
Miss Norbury then tries to get the girls to do the impossible. What's that, Daddy? To take accountability for their actions. So they start doing this thing that women love doing. They start talking about their feelings. Women do this a lot. But Regina's the realest girl here, the most realistic character out of all of them, because she refuses to take accountability for her actions. But as it turns out, she's responsible for the psychological damage of almost everybody in the school. Everyone! Even the principal. So Miss Norbury makes all the girls write apologies to everyone they've hurt, and they apologize while hurting each other whilst apologizing. Daddy, this movie is insane. So Janice goes on stage.
Oh my god, it's her dream come true, diving into a big pile of girls.
And she reveals the whole dastardly plan to destroy Regina's life, and this makes her mad, and she goes outside where she gets hit by a speeding bus. Speeding past the school. This doesn't happen anywhere else on earth. Did she die? No, she's fine. So Kitty goes back to school where she's eating in the toilets again because everyone hates her, and Principal Duval asks the class if Miss Norbury ever sold them marijuana tablets.
What are marijuana tablets?
So Katie owns up to the burn book, and she goes on an apology tour, apologizing to Rachel and Miss Norbury, etc., etc. Finally, the spring fling comes around and everybody's excitedly getting ready, but Katie joins the mathletes and they win the tournament! Yay! So then they go to the spring fling, and Katie wins Miss Spring Fling. Why her? Because she pushed Regina in front of the bus, so she gives a speech, and breaks the crown and gives a piece to all the losers, and she finally gets the boy and everyone dances with each other. It was so magical. What happened to the plastics? They broke up. Regina plays sports now, and Karen is a weather girl, and Gretchen joins another group with its own Beyonce. So Katie went back to her mean old friends, and Regina's a nice girl now, and the next generation of plastics get hit by a speeding bus outside of a school. Again, the end.